Round for round boxing. Round for round boxing in association with BWTM Sports. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all your subscriptions. Okay, now look, I've got to go. I'm behind time at the moment, so this is a final prediction. I know the undercard is on at the moment. Final prediction for Groves v Smith, super middleweight final preview and prediction video, and then I'm going to do hopefully the live commentary afterwards, just depending on time at the moment. So, okay, let me get straight into things. My prediction for this fight was George Groves by knockout. That's how I saw the fight before the injury. I always saw that George Groves was just too experienced, had fought in better class, and I didn't think that Callum Smith would be that much of a challenge for George Groves. Now, people would know who've been listening to me for years that I've been a big fan of George Groves, but I've always felt he's been fairly overrated. I think overrated would have been maybe a bit harsh. I think one of the things I said was George Groves' career was rushed. I felt that he should never have got into those two Carl Froch fights in the beginning. I thought he wasn't experienced enough at the time when he fought Carl Froch. Subsequently, fights against Badu Chak, where again, I didn't think that Groves was as good as advertised at the time, and other issues he had with his trainer and all the rest of it. I think Groves now in 2018, barring the shoulder injury, has now become the fighter that I think people expected him to be when he fought Carl Froch. I think now he's the more rounded fighter. He's fought at elite level now. The fight I thought he would lose against the guy fought for the world title. I thought that guy would have put too much pressure on Groves, or put him on the back foot and make him fight. That's what he did, and Groves pulled out a win there against Jamie. I can't remember what the game was again. He was backed up against the ropes again, showed he could fight off the ropes, stopped him with a body shot. Now again, he fought Chris Eubank Jr., come forward fighter, throwing loads of punches at him, was able to deal with it, and even in the 12th round, come through adversity and win that fight in the 12th round. I think with George Groves earlier in his career, probably would have fallen apart. George Groves showed he had stamina, could go the distance, went 12 rounds. He now, for me now, is as complete a fighter as he can be. And to Jamie Cox, thank you very much. A complete as fighter as he can be in 2018. And now, as a mature fighter, knows what he needs to do, knows his body, knows what's necessary of him. He's at a point I don't think George Groves gets any better. However, the injury has come at a bad time for George because of the shoulder injury. And of course, that coming out and all the rest of it. We all know what happened there. I don't know how good that shoulder is. I really don't. I mean, he's throwing jabs, he's throwing punches, yeah, all the rest, yada, yada, yada. But he's recovered quickly. He's rushed to get through into the final. And for me, I don't know. That left, the shoulders, everything, the jab, the hook. I don't know how much Groves is going to be. Is he going to be gun shy? Is he been throwing a left hook? What's he been like in sparring? I just don't know. That's the only thing. Now, Callum Smith. I've told people from day one about Callum Smith. Never rated Callum Smith. I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's the world's best prospect and all the rest that he's been thrown out. Just being honest, he's a good fighter, but I just don't think he's... Tonight is his chance to prove me completely wrong. But for me, when I look at Smith, I look at a guy who's straight up and down. Yes, earlier in his career, he was landing body shots and dropping people in the first round. That's great. But as he's moved up in class, them same body shots, as we saw against Luke Blackledge, a guy who's not the top of British super middleweight boxing, a good guy, a good domestic fighter, Commonwealth champion, so you've got to give him credit for that. But he's not no world beater Luke Blackledge. And there, Smith went 10 rounds with him. He then he avoided fights against Durrell, Ramirez, and Durrell and Ramirez. He even ducked out a fight or avoided a fight against DeGale, people made excuse and said, well, yeah, he was looking for the World Boxing Super Series. There wasn't a World Boxing Super Series at the time. So where they got the idea of Smith was, anyway, this guy he's been the world number one for the WBC for God knows how long. Didn't want to fight Ramirez. WBC number one in the world for almost 2-3 years without fighting a genuine number one contender. So I just don't know about Smith. To me, he looks a guy that when he's on top and things are going forward, when he's on top and he's allowed to use the jab and use the left hook to the body and then the right hand to the body and has allowed space to box, he's okay. The impression I get from Smith is when you rough him up, you push him against the ropes, he's a non-effective puncher there. I think there's a weakness to the body, which I think Groves will be throwing vicious shots to the body from the start. I'm not sure about Callum Smith's chin and his ability to take punches. His frame has always been a question mark. He's so tall at 6'3" or 6'4" as a super middleweight. How he does that, I have no idea how he does that. So, Smith's got the tools. He's got the jab. He's got the hook to the body. But to me, Smith seems very much one-paced. He doesn't go through gears. I haven't seen anything in his career where he goes through gears, not against better opposition. And for me, personally, it all comes down to whether Groves can back Smith to the ropes. If he can back Smith to the ropes, that's where he needs Smith. Back Smith back against the ropes and then just go to town on Smith. Because I think defensively, Smith is great. When he tucks up behind a high guard, ducks his head in, and he's there to be hit around the body, uppercuts through the middle. So I think for Groves, he's the more experienced fighter. And I think tonight Smith is going to pay for not fighting experienced fighters for me. I think he should have had better experienced fighters before he's fought tonight. And I haven't been impressed with Smith since he's been in this World Boxing Super Series. He should have fought Jürgen Bremer. The Jürgen Bremer fight would have told me a lot more about Smith. He would have told me a lot more about where he is and what he's about. Now, if Smith comes through tonight and he wins this fight, I'll put my hand up and say, you know what? Again, well done, Callum Smith. But even these two guys, these are probably two guys are fighting to be who the best fighter in Great Britain is. The best world champion in the super middleweight division in Great Britain. In terms of world boxing, I don't know. You've got Uzageti, or what his name is, over across the channel there, who looks a danger for anybody. I remember him fighting Julius Jackson, the son of Julian Jackson, and knocking him out within a couple of rounds. That guy was always heavy-handed. You've got Ramirez as well. He'll be stating a claim as well. So there are two guys in the super middleweight division that would say, well, they've got a good chance of being the best super middleweight in the world. So Groves, to me, would probably be the best super middleweight in Britain, or Callum Smith. It would be a shame if Groves' injury plays a big part in this. I really hope it doesn't. Shout out to CB Sports TV. Shout out to you, Ian McKenzie, Boxing Fans TV, Tyrone Smith, Napoleon Solo, Lawrence Williams, and Lowland Profits. Salute to you all, family. So that's where I'm at with this. It's a short prediction. I'm going with the experienced fighter. I'm going with the guy I know a lot more about. I know the guy who I think handles pressure better. However, if George Groves allows Callum Smith to get behind the jab and stick the jab out and allows stand and look at Smith, I think Groves would be silly to do that. He's got to get inside. He's weight to me. He's getting, for me, I think, as J124 says, Smith is way too basic. Way too basic. Straight up and down. Absolutely is. But leaves his chin in the air and pulls back his straight lines. So I know George Groves can be vicious when he wants to be. And I can just see him getting against him, pushing, using the elbow, pushing up Callum Smith against ropes and whacking in hard body shots. I can really see them body shots being landed. Hard, vicious body shots. But you got the two stars of George Groves. You've got the Adam Booth's George Groves, which is in and out. And you've got this now style of Groves where he's holding his feet more, wide stance, holding his feet, and sitting in the pocket more. Which Groves do you prefer? For against Callum Smith, I would like to see the Groves that fought Adam Booth, not throwing as many shots. But then you see with Groves, both guys question marks about the weight and how they've made the weight. I think Groves has done it better now, but I don't like the way Smith makes weight. He always looks really, really gant going into fights. And I always feel that he should be fighting as light heavyweight already. And I wouldn't be surprised after this fight. He says, you know what? Win, lose, or draw, I'm moving up to light heavyweight. He just looks like he's really struggling at light heavyweight, super middleweight. I'd like to see Smith at light heavyweight, to be honest with you. I think he'd be more effective at light heavyweight. I'm not saying he'd... it'd be interesting to see Callum Smith against Anthony Yarde. That's a fight I'd pay to see. Right, so that's it for me. I'm going with George Groves in this one. But Smith has got tools. Don't get me wrong. Smith has got some tools there. He's got the jab. He's got the left hook to the body, and body shots are good. So I'd like to see Groves touch up Smith's chin early, see what his chin is like, and work that body. So I know that Groves will be looking to land spiteful punches early. And if Smith's chin's not up to task, Groves could get him out there early. If not, then it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. Yep, I think we're going to try and commentate the fight tonight as well. So stick with me and we'll see what I can do tonight. But that's it for me. Groves is for me experience over youth. Experience of youth, just that shoulder. If I knew more about that shoulder injury, and because he's healed real quickly and he's going back into elite competition, but his jab. Now you're going to see how good George Groves' jab is against a guy much taller than himself. I want to see George. He's going to have to double and triple up that jab. Lots of feints, lots of head movement, because I think George's upper body movement is going to give Callum Smith problems as well. Lots of feints, using the head a lot, but coming inside, using the jab and working behind a nice jab, getting inside, and as soon as I got inside, bam, bam, body shots at me landing. And as soon as Smith decides to drop, to throw the left hook, straight right hand, straight for the middle. As he drops to throw that left hook, bomb, straight for the middle, right hand. Very interesting fight tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's just a shame that a fight like this is out in the middle of nowhere. I'd love to see this fight, in the UK or even in the US. Why it's out there, God only knows. Right, so I'll try and be back soon and try and get commentary for you. I'm looking forward to a good fight. Of course, they'll target the shoulder. Oh, one other fight. Chris Eubank Jr. Haven't seen much of him recently. Been very quiet. Good to see him back now. No, he's been spending a lot of time in Las Vegas, so I guess he'll be... I expect to see improvements from Chris Eubank Jr. tonight. I hope to see improvements from Chris Eubank Jr. tonight, because if it's the same old rubbish, then I'm afraid to say that his career as a super middleweight will be limited to who he can fight and who will be beaten. And also, yes, I expect to see him do well tonight, Eubank, and see improvements. Didn't see Eubank Senior around. I don't know if they're going their separate ways now or what. Or maybe Eubank Senior's been told to take a seat in the background. I don't know. We'll see. Right, I'm out of here. See you all at the fight.